Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we got some new mods from graphical all the way down to combat that I just know you guys are probably most likely going to love. So before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button down below and maybe subscribe if you're feeling very generous today, just to motivate me a little more than I already am. But without further ado, don't want to take up any more of your time, so let's dive right in. So to firstly start us off, we're going to do a graphical mod. One that might hit you a little hard in the FPS area, but it's well worth it. This mod is called Forest Fragments, Forest Debris Expansion. This is a standalone of Nature of the Wildlands, plants and debris, so no trees this time. Everything this mod adds is 4K and 3D mesh, so everything will look amazing now. But like I said, it will hit your FPS a little hard, depending on your specs of your computer. But me personally, I have a 3070 and I don't really have much of an impact so far. But who knows, mileage may vary. This is one of those mods you unfortunately can't downscale either, so you're pretty much stuck with 4K, because if you do, it will look hideous, even from far away. So this is a take it or leave it kind of deal. And I highly recommend to take this because for some reason mods always disappear nowadays, so you might want to grab it. It is 1 GB though, at least when it's in BSA form. You can also extract and make it bigger, but for now it's about 1 GB. This next mod is the perfect addition to anyone trying to do a survival playthrough. This mod is called Take a Nap, Sleep on Chairs by J Serpa. This mod allows for your character to actually sleep in chairs rather than just needing a bed to sleep. But there are downsides to doing this. Well, there's positives also, like it being free. But the downsides are is that you can't start an OSIM scene. But the main issues is that you'll only be able to sleep for a few hours at most, so I don't even know if you'll get the main perks depending on how your setup is. And when you do, your character will wake up with back pains that gives your character a debuff. And this debuff is rightfully named back pain, and it will reduce your stamina for a total of 2 hours. And if you play survival, that is a huge debuff, especially considering I play with my time scale much slower than the normal Skyrim. This mod is fully animated as well, so you will actually see your character lay their head down and wake up as well, and also stretch when you stand up, showcasing that they actually do now have back pains. This can also be seen when your character is sitting down. I feel like this is one of those mods I'd use even though I don't really do survival, because it turns out to be a little tedious after a while, but I definitely get this just for a great immersion edition. But while we're on the subject of taverns and inns, I figured I'd take this chance to bring up the next mod. This mod is called Snazzy Wall Mounted Trophies by Gutmaw. This mod uses base object swapper to introduce new wall mounted animals. So no longer will you see bears or only wolves, but now diversity is introduced. This mod does have veil animals in certain interiors, but unfortunately, I personally couldn't find one, but that's just because RNG pretty much hates me, always has. But I'm sure they're meant to be rare either way. And this mod pretty much touches every interior that has wall mounted animals, and will definitely raise your immersion to level 10, especially with how great these trophies look. I was expecting kind of low model 3D, but it actually looks great. But the best part has to be the fact that it uses base object swappers, so there should be next to no issues with this mod. It just simply won't show up if you have an issue. Now we're going to switch it up a bit and go to combat. This mod is called Vanguard Bash Behavior by bot user 999, but it is uploaded by Monitor, especially since it got removed from a few other places. This mod is a massive bash behavior overhaul. And when I say overhaul, it really changes bashing a lot, like to the point you probably won't even recognize it. No longer will NPCs just spam bash you whenever they think you're gonna power attack. Now it's pretty much telegraphed, so if you get hit by it, it's pretty much your fault. So you will be able to time the bash and your power attack for the perfect counter. Each weapon, including the shield, was given their own bash attack as well. So each one will be unique to their own attack, and it won't be repetitive unless you're fighting multiple enemies. Then you might see the same thing over and over. The only thing I want to point out though is that this is the normal bash for enemies now. Enemies bashes are much slower now, that's what I meant by telegraph, so you should be able to dodge it, but your bash will only become like theirs when you power attack. Yours is much quicker though, but you can still do the normal bash if you prefer that one, because to get the power bash you do need the power bashing perk, which works with all perk trees. Adamant used to be uncompatible, but they since removed that, so now you can power bash with weapons as well using that. That was like the biggest issue people was having. They didn't know how to actually activate this mod because they didn't have the power bashing perk, but at least now you know. I also do want to point out though that these weapons do matter when you're bashing. All of them will not do the same damage, nor will they all be the same speed. The next mod up is a mesh and texture replacing the normal Skyrim beds. This mod is called Ignoble Beds, a noble and upper class bed replacer by Sotha Simp. I originally wasn't going to do this bed, but when I thought about it, this mod would actually make a great addition to Skyrim. I know by the screenshots on the mod page, it probably makes you think that it's too fancy, but it's meant to be that way. It's meant to showcase the lavish lifestyle that noble classes have, rather than the normal Skyrim people. The textures on this bed are amazing as well. They don't look low mesh, but they aren't overly saturated either. The bed's blended really well with my furniture. Considering I use Skyrim 3D furniture and that one kinda has a unique style of texture, so it doesn't really look well with other things. So to have a new mod that actually blends well with 3D furniture is already a welcome addition in my load order. Kinda was getting tired of the cringe, but I'm glad it's gone. But moving on to the next mod, which probably doesn't even need a showcase, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This mod is called Dialogue History by Power 3. This mod, when you're in a conversation, records everything that the NPC says to you and your response to them. So you'll finally be able to know what you're impatiently clicking through, or what your finger was too fat and just clicked through by mistake. Like I said though, this is a super simple mod because as soon as you talk to the NPC, it pretty much appears at the bottom of your screen to open the log, which by default is control, and you'll be able to reread everything that was said by the NPC. And while this menu is active, the game will pause, so you won't feel rushed either way. And the great part is, it doesn't just record one conversation then delete. You can scroll through every conversation you've had on the day, and also time, and also sort it a little. This in my opinion goes great with the mod subtitles because that lets you see it as they're saying it, so why not let yourself be able to reread it also. Next mod up today is one of the smallest ones in size, but the biggest in overhaul wise. This mod is called Modern First Person Animation Overhaul by Sanit25, coming with multiple new attack animations for every single weapon, just to make first person in vanilla Skyrim feel actually smooth. This is a new mod because it literally just came on the 2nd of April, and it is still being worked on, but in my time using this, I noticed absolutely zero issues so far. And the difference from first person animation of vanilla versus first person animations of this mod, I mean, I can't really see too many similarities because it is a massive difference. But it isn't going to make it feel like you're playing a whole new game, but it will make first person animations and playing in first person actually feel enjoyable for once. It'll make it feel like a completely new Skyrim rather than a completely new game. This mod works with 80 XP, which is Attack Modern Combat Overhaul for the new people to modding, because that is what I'm currently using right now, so I can definitely say firsthand that it is compatible. But you won't get to fully experience everything this mod has to offer because Attack Modern Combat Overhaul does remove left hand attacks. Instead, Attack Modern Combat Overhaul lets you block with the right click rather than using your left hand, so it kinda just works out like that. I rarely play in first person, but the fact that I actually enjoy using this mod might have opened up a new chapter for me in modding wise, especially considering I might be overhauling first person. Because the way that my enemies are set up is that if you're playing in first person, it would never be a disadvantage even with this Attack Modern Combat Overhaul, because their animations is set up so they will always give you a chance to counter attack, as long as you aren't surrounded by a bunch of them. But like I said, this mod is still very new and still being worked on to add random attack animations rather than just a static 3-hit combo. But no bugs have been reported yet for this mod, so if you guys want to, you should go and support this mod. Especially if you're ready to see first person finally get some support again in 2024. And for the final mod of today, we got an overhaul by Helios Sykes called HS Windhelm Candlehearth Hall. And like usual, he overhauled another interior, and this time, one in Windhelm. I can't help but feel like we're finally reaching a point in Skyrim where nearly every single interior has been overhauled or is planned, such as player homes, NPC homes, and taverns. And at this point, all are great for FPS. They aren't dropping people down to 30 anymore. This overhaul is actually really immersive, to me at least. He didn't completely change this interior that is unrecognizable, but you'll definitely notice the differences as soon as you walk in. This is closer to a remodel and expansion than it is to a new building just called Candlehearth Hall. And yes, if you were wondering, there is indeed a patch for Lux and ELFX, so you don't have to worry about this interior actually being ugly because honestly, no matter how good an interior looks, if the lighting is off, then it's a 0 for me. But it's probably not just me with that opinion, considering Helios doesn't even use Lux or really care for it, but he keeps making patches for it. But that was it for today, guys. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments, and also if I missed some new mods that you guys ended up downloading and loving. I'd love to hear all opinions. And on your way down there, make sure you hit that like button and maybe subscribe to the channel for more Skyrim and Fallout 4 content. And as of right now, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.